Hey, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we are going to be looking at some more of these October creep talks that you guys have been liking so much. So, I guess let's just get into it and see what we got today. And we are live.
I was gonna make this video anyways, but since you asked, I will deliver. I was a Titanic kid, meaning that I literally knew every single fact about the Titanic. Like, my ass would sit and watch documentaries for hours and hours and hours. But when I heard this theory, everything like it made sense. I'm gonna talk fast, just try and keep up if you can. Basically, White Star Line, super important ship company, they built 3 super notable ships. We have the Titanic, the Olympic, and the Britannic. The Britannic was the first to go. It was a warship, and people say it was struck by like a landmine in the water, but no, it wasn't. It was struck by a torpedo by a German U-boat, and it sank. As you can see, she resembles the Titanic, just like different colors. And yeah, you can like see where it was hit. And then we have the Olympic and the Titanic. They look identical. The Olympic was on the water for a while. Like, she was reaching retirement, and they knew that, and they were like, well, it was a lot of money to make the Titanic. It was a lot of money to make the Titanic, and it's going to be even more money to repair the Olympic. So what if we just sent the Olympic out instead, sank that hoe, claimed some insurance money, and then just scrapped the Titanic like it was the Olympic for some spare parts? Nobody knows what the interior of the Titanic looked like except for the people who built it. So like, it would have been easy. Like, it would have been easy to flip it, you know, because the interiors were different, but like, who would have known? No one would have known. Also, so many important people were supposed to get on the Titanic, but they canceled their tickets mysteriously right before they got on, right before it set off to sea. Important people was JP Morgan. Yeah, like the banker dude. Yeah. And he was like, I'm not gonna get on. Just don't feel like it. Girl, why? And another person was Milton Hershey himself, like Hershey's Kisses, mwah, like, yeah, he was supposed to get on the boat, and then he was like, no thanks. Were they told not to? Because they knew it was gonna fucking sink? Anyways, the icing on the goddamn cake was that the Titanic was built, notably, the way you could tell the difference between the two of them was that the Titanic had 14 portholes on the side of it. Cute. And the Olympic had 16. Well, magically, by the grace of God, by the grace of Jesus, the Titanic had 16 portholes on the side of it the day that it left. Did they just tack 2 more on for funsies, for shits and gigs? Just, bye! No, they did not. Also, there were 2 ships on the water that night that were around the Titanic when it sunk. There was the RMS Californian, and then there was the Carpathia. The Californian was only an hour away. Like, it would have taken them an hour to get to where the Titanic was to rescue every single person on that ship before it sank. But it didn't go. We don't know where she went, but it was not the Titanic. The Carpathia did. The Carpathia was multiple hours away, and by the time that it got there, the ship would have been gone. The ship would have already sank. Convenient. Also, every single time that they advertised the Titanic, they used the Olympics pictures. They took pictures of the inside of the Olympic and used it as advertising. These little windows are the Olympic. These are the Titanic. I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong.
You know, that's true, and JP Morgan actually owned both of them.
These cows have all been genetically modified, and this is human breast milk. The Chinese scientists responsible successfully inserted the human breast milk gene into a cow embryo and then implanted it into a surrogate. The result is a transgenic herd of 300, and milk the scientists claim is healthier than the bovine variety. The human breast milk produced by the cows is antibacterial and helps boost the immune system. With government approval, it could be on supermarket shelves within 3 years. You may find the idea hard to swallow, but these dairy workers disagree. They say it's stronger and sweeter than cow's milk. It's a world first in a country that's leading the stampede to embrace genetically modified food.
The scientists who created this herd have also produced animals that are resistant to mad cow disease, as well as beef cattle that are genetically modified for more nutritious meat.
Critics say the risks of transgenic food aren't yet fully understood. But while the West worries about the dangers and morality of genetic modification, China says those scruples are misplaced.
There are 1.5 billion people in the world who don't have enough to eat. It's our duty to develop science and technology, not to hold it back. We need to feed people first, before we consider ideals and convictions.
China's pushing the boundaries of genetic modification, seemingly unperturbed by any ethical concerns. Holly Williams, Sky News, Beijing.
Evil toy blocks.
B, C, right? Makes sense. Then it goes D, E, M, O, N, S. Demons. This is from the 1930s, dude. No one's making shit like that.
What company made that?
So it's a company, Gateway Toy Company. So.
You know the back of it?
It says Gateway, right? That's all we know about it. Like,
get it? Oh, I get it. Gateway.
Right. Danvers, Massachusetts.
Wow.
These things are really, really hard to find. I, of course, have them, which is amazing. But here's the deal. This is the craziest thing. So the first thing is, there's hidden messages in these boxes. So the first thing when you look at this box, it says family. It's the only word on there that is in all caps, right? So what happens if you spell the word family with the blocks? Where is my other?
The Y is missing.
The Y is over there. So spell it right. So I have to sometimes. Here we go. Yep, there we go. So if I spell family in these blocks, if I just turn them all over, check this out. M U R B E R on the other side. So imagine a children's set of blocks where a kid spells the word family and directly on the other side is the word murder.
Holy cow. Oh, what's the scramble to me?
It's dark, man.
Were you guys aware that this was also happening in Mexico around the same time that Hurricane Helene hit North Carolina? Y'all see what happened in Mexico? Why is it only people are talking about North Carolina? Look at that, y'all. Water just everywhere. Dirty, murky, muddy water everywhere. The whole town is literally flooded with water. This is Acapulco, Mexico. Look at that, y'all. Look at this. So apparently there was a storm off the coast of Acapulco over here, and that's all it was supposed to be, y'all. But as soon as it touched down, it literally jumped to a Category 3 hurricane. I didn't even know about this. Look at this, y'all. Mexico experienced about 9 feet of water. Look at this, y'all. Everybody's talking about the North Carolina, but nobody knows what's going on in Mexico. Look at this. In certain parts of Mexico, the water is up to your shoulders. And the crazy thing is, Mexico almost got hit again, but now Milton is literally doing a U-turn and coming to the East Coast. Look at that. See, they gotta hold on to things. That's how deep the water is. Did y'all know about this in Mexico? Bro, you see? Look at this, y'all. Cars are literally buried. This is literally the mud flood. This is, again, the mud flood. That's what I'm saying, man. I had no idea this was going on in Mexico because everybody is talking about Hurricane Helene in the United States. But yeah, man, Mexico got it bad, y'all. Wow. Look at that. Still going, y'all.
That's devastating. I did not hear about that, actually. Hang in there, guys.
Shopping in the Philippines. Watermelons have seeds in them. This is about the normal size of a watermelon, my hand. The apples are not shiny at all. There are 0 wax coatings. There's plenty of both types of banana. They have dragon fruit. Their carrots actually look real. Yes, this is a carrot, not a potato. See the eggplant? It's not thick and overgrown. Everything is actually bigger in America. Even the heads of cauliflower are smaller. Here's my hand over top of that. Here's your sweet potatoes, almost the size of my hand. Onions are smaller. Never seen a red onion this little. Mangoes, and also mangoes. Have you ever heard of mangosteen? Probably not. I haven't. I did notice the green grapes are massive. General Mills is still General Mills. The immediate thing you're going to notice is that the Pepsi does not contain high fructose corn syrup. Maybe the best beef jerky I've ever seen. American beef jerky is slacking. More ramen noodles than any college kid would ever be able to eat. Like the Oreos don't have high fructose corn syrup in them. That's crazy. There's high fructose corn syrup in American. The bread here is really interesting. You've got palm oil and coconut oil, which you never see in the United States of America, or cornstarch. Jif is exactly the same. If you look at the American Pringles, you'll see 40 different types. Interesting is they actually name the full ingredient in some of them. And they tell you what it is. Instead of like sweetener or natural flavor, they tell you it's aspartame. What I find most interesting is you don't actually see vegetable oil. You got like corn oil, coconut oil, canola oil. They're not marketed vegetable oil like us. And when you do find the vegetable oil, it's actually all the way up here on top, which most people can't even reach this. But you can see for us, it's packaged in the United States of America. Bags of rice. Here's something you'll never see in the United States. These Kellers are actually named Sunset Yellow, Allura Red. So Red 40 is Allura Red. Blue 1 is Brilliant Blue. Yellow 5 is Tarazine.
Actual food in the supermarket for once. What's that like? I'm pretty sure I know where this is going to go. People used to marry their friends. Now, that was stupid. Can't even say I'm surprised by that.
Diddy parties. Those are assault parties, and I was one of the kids that was one of the party favors. And a party favors means that you're set on top of a table and you're used as a toy for anybody who comes across the table or who wants to party at a certain time of night. When the music stops and then the DJ starts flashing all these lights and they close the doors, and then everybody turns into like a frenzy and starts going into a crazed animal-like demonic state, and you have no idea what's going on. And yes, there was a time where I was just like completely don't give a shit because it happened, and I was the type of kid that thought that, you know, you're in the presence of royalty and they make it seem like you're in the presence of Hollywood, so you should be honored and you should be appreciating that you're there. And I was that person. I totally acted like that. I was like, oh, it's fine, you know, it really doesn't matter. But then it really did matter when my pimp was like, he had rules. He had lots of rules, and it was more money. And if you know the difference between a pimp, a John, and a trafficker, the trafficker is the supplier, but the pimp is collecting the money and the John is doing the buying. So if the pimp is saying that full house, actual, full-blown, by the way, kids, don't watch this. Goodbye. I love you. Goodbye. If you found my stuff, get off right now. This is the moment where I'm telling you I'm angry. I forgot to put that reminder in the beginning. Okay, cool. Goodbye. What was I saying? You. if the pimp paid for if there's rules to all kind of different jobs. Okay, so at a certain point I was not brought or traded for. That didn't matter to a few celebrities that were there. It's not just celebrities, there's a lot of different people. They called it an all-black party, but it was mainly because a lot of the party favors were black kids. I was in the care of Riverside County Child Protective Services at the time. I was 15, barely 16. 15, 16. It's foggy. A lot happened that night, and I went really numb. And if there's videos or if there's anything that could go from that, then pull them. Because we all know that there's so many cameras around. So I can try to post the affidavits and I can put out what happened, but at the same time, what am I supposed to do when nobody's really asking about the kids that are present in these parties now and were then, because they're really just going after all the celebrities and the adults, which I'm happy that we're finally here, and I'm grateful that we're finally pulling the names that need to be pulled and the big fishes that need to be pulled. But at the same time, nobody's asking about the kids and who else is really there. And no, it's just not about all these dudes having. They need people to fluff them, which are, and those are the kids and the people on the party favors desk. And then on top of that, there's this big ass wheel, and they make it like a carnival thing, and they literally strap you to a wheel and spin it. And then after a certain time, you have no idea what's happening because you're numb. And if you throw up like I did, then your face is going to be rubbed in and you're going to have to eat it. And then people look at that as a sick fetish too. Blood is a fetish. Throw up is a fetish. Shit is a fetish. So, I have DID, and I went numb after a while. There's a reason for all of my splits, but I just went numb after a minute. And there's times where I just checked out. You can check out for a few hours while somebody is messing with you. It exists, because if you start fighting them back, then you're gonna suffocate or it's gonna hurt worse. So well, for me personally, I checked out. That's how I'm still sitting here. So yeah. And that's not the only thing, because after so many hours of dealing with people, not even dealing with people assaulting you, after so many hours of that, then if you're still okay, then they just make you go to another job like I did. So then you're just transported through the tunnels. Yeah. You don't live in the world you think you do. And there are videos, and there is, I'm sure there's so much of this, and everybody is seeing slowly it come out, but nobody's talking about the kids. I don't want to open my phone and realize that somebody posted a video of me as a child, and there was times where, because I was on so much ecstasy and so much drugs, that I was laughing because I wanted people to think that I was okay, so they didn't kill me. So there are things that would come out that people would assume, like, oh, everything is fine, they're fine. No, I was 15, 16. I was a kid, and there were kids younger than me, and there are still kids younger than me, and CPS supplies a lot of these children. Let's just not be around the bush about this. CPS supplies a lot of these kids because they don't look for them. They don't care. You're runaways. You're AWOLs. No one gives a shit. So I'm happy we're on this subject, and I hope that we continue, because I'm still trying. I'm still here. I still give a shit, even though I kind of checked out for a little bit and it looked like I did it. And yeah, as a dance choreographer that was being fake and acting like, and it doesn't bother me. It does. It always does. I can't sleep. So, yeah. You will never, I don't want to be anybody's puppet anymore. So I'm there in so many ways. So yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, there's absolutely a lot to unpack there. I'm not even going to pretend that I even kind of understand what that young lady and those children and any of these victims of P. Diddy and his celebrity friends and politician friends have put these people through, and the kind of trauma that they've had to endure, the type of thing that they have survived, I think would have killed most people. I think when we look at certain pop stars who were introduced to that life very early, Justin Bieber, for example, when she talked about zoning out and disassociating herself, I think we saw that a lot in Justin Bieber over the years too. And I think we can attribute that to the kind of things he was subjected to as a young child. I can't wait until there is justice for these victims and the people that have had to endure this heinous, unspeakable filth. Like, what other words are there for this? I hate to end this on such a low point, but I feel like, these are the kinds of messages I need to get out to people. As uncomfortable as it is to hear, I can't imagine how uncomfortable it was to go through. So, yeah. But that's all I got today, guys. Please share. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. This really helps out the channel. It also helps me bypass the YouTube censorship. I noticed that a lot of my views are quite low for this type of content. So liking and sharing really helps get this kind of stuff out. I guess I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, 80 Canadian, signing off.